about our special guest. One of those days, we have Anastasia Luksha. Sorry if I said that. And her, how do I want to say this? Her resume is like a dream resume. And not only that, but she like feels like she's just getting started in the industry and still making, waves in the path for the rest of us. So Anastasia, welcome this morning to Tech Talk Live. And thank you for spending your time with us this morning.
Thank you so much, Amy. I'm so glad to be here with you today.
Oh, I appreciate it. So you guys have to know, Anastasia's only been in the beauty industry for 15 years, and we're going to hear her story in a minute, and an educator for the last 13 years. And so it didn't take her long before she felt like she not only mastered where she was at, but that she had a voice and the knowledge to be able to share. What she's been able to do with her career is leaps and bounds what many of us has done, and like I've been in this now for 28 years, so I could not imagine everything that you've done, all the traveling you've done and all the people you've met, and I'm going to live vicariously through you. And so, Anastasia, what got you started in the beauty industry?
So I was doing my degree for computer science in the university, and I just wanted to make money, to be independent, to have my own apartment and things like that. But I couldn't find any job as an IT specialist back then because I really couldn't do anything yet. It was just my first year, and there were not many opportunities for 17-year-olds at that time. So I thought maybe I can learn something like nails or makeup and then work on the weekends. So I just learned nails, and now 15 years passed, I'm still in it.
Did you ever complete the other degree, or did you just go, well, this isn't going to work and I'm just going to do this instead?
Yeah, I did, because, my parents and everybody in my country is you have to have this degree and everything. Yeah, I did complete it, and I even used some knowledge for it, to build my own website when I was getting started as a nail tech, things like that. But yeah, I didn't really work in the industry.
Yeah. It's amazing too how sometimes our careers that we think we're going to be in, I know I've shared that I was going to be an EMT, and I did. I completed that, but it wasn't where my heart was. It wasn't where I really wanted to be for life. And so, but it's interesting. You wouldn't think that sometimes our other career paths that we, got educated in would tie into the beauty industry, but every time we find somehow that it has crossed over and helped us. And so, that's awesome. So good morning or afternoon, everybody that's joining on. As you well know, if you have any questions, we are live, and Anastasia, is here. Let's pick her brain and let's hear more of her story. So good afternoon to everybody who's joining us today. So Anastasia, once you got out, you completed school. How did you feel the education that you received in school was? Did you come out going, I got this, or did you go, gosh, now what do I do?
You mean the education for nails?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So the first school I went to, it was 5 days, because I believe that was the only one I could afford, because they were another school for 2 or 3 months, but they were really expensive. So I went to a more affordable one, and yeah, I felt like I got this. I'm a rock star, but now I understand that I really didn't. I just felt like it. I don't know, because I was, really young and confident and everything. But no, yeah, definitely needed more education. And I realized that only after a year of work, because I had not many returning customers. They were just, coming and going, and then I realized something's wrong.
Yeah. And so what did you do to overcome that part of it? I think all of us go through a step where we look back and go, wow, my retention's not what I thought it would be, or wait, the people have repairs, or like you said, they're not coming back, but you feel like you're delivering good stuff. So what did you do next?
Yeah, well, yeah, I did feel like I'm doing good, but I also was doing, nails to my friends and to my mom, so I could see how their nails look like after a while, and it wasn't that good most of the time. So yeah, I realized something's obviously wrong. Maybe that's why they're not coming back. So I just took another school and then another one. So I just started learning almost every 2 months. And that would help me finally realize that there were so many things I was doing wrong. And yeah, and then
Yeah.
so I went to another school, and then I started practicing more, like, just asking more friends to give their time and nails so I can practice some new things. I was reading my nails like every week, get more practice for that. And yeah, finally I got some clients that were returning to me, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And were you able, a lot of times, and depending where you are with social media and all that kind of stuff, it used to be that it was very difficult for us to contact a company to be able to, get linked into an educator or even get ongoing education about their product. Because sometimes we don't know if it's us, or if we're not using the product right, or if maybe we weren't taught correctly with the product. And so as you went through and you started working more with specific products, did you find that it was like that you were going more towards the company, or did you find a lot of ongoing education through YouTube, or did you stick with educators?
Well, so the first school that gave me the education, now I realized was good, was like the Russian school for like distributor for EasyFlow and IBD. So yeah, like I went to school, so they were using those products, and they said you need to use this brand. So I did. I was always like very like good student. I was listening to what they are telling me. But yeah, later I started going to another schools that were using other brands. So I started kind of experimenting with them. But actually, there wasn't much education on YouTube yet. So yeah, usually always learn from the schools, or also, this beauty shows when they do this like workshops or something. Yeah, mostly from that.
Yeah, that's definitely where you can get the best education. Sometimes I do interviews and I'm amazed on how the people got to the level they are. And they're like, I started off with YouTube, or I started off with just, looking at magazines and going, I'm going to accomplish that. And so it's that inner drive that we have, knowing that we can be better than that and where to get the education. So it's always interesting to see where we pull it from. But we find the ones that make it the furthest truly got in with a company and got the education from a company and understanding the chemistry side of the products and how they work and why you have to layer them the way you do and the right ratio and cure times and all of that. And so obviously in your case, you were one that, went with the company, and obviously EasyFlow is a great company. Alina is on here and she says, hello from Alina Fox. You met in Moscow at Nail Olympia.
We did. Hey, Alina, yeah.
Yeah, so you've traveled a lot and not only competed. Well, let's go back to that. How did you get into where you were finally confident into your work to where you would do competitions?
Well, actually, the moment I figure out that there is such thing as nail competition, I like immediately wanted. I don't know, maybe I'm like competitive person because I used to do figure skating, and I loved competition sport. Not even, not because like I always want to win or something. I just, like the process, like the training process, that you have this clear goal to perform as best as you can, all this stuff, it's just really motivating. So once I figure out there is some such thing as nail competition, I wanted to do it. So I went to EasyFlow because there were only 2 companies back then in Russia that could prepare you for the competition. So I just went to them, and yeah, I just said, please, like, I want to compete. Tell me about it. So yeah, I started taking trainings and started to compete. First like in Russia and then internationally.
That question comes up a lot about competitions and stuff. And what we have found is the best thing for you to do is to get a team and a company. And once you get the proper education and you have the team around you, then you can go further with that. And so in the beginning, were you competing as an individual, or did you immediately go in with that as a team?
Well, honestly, I never really had like a team. I mean, there were a couple people competing with me, but they were at a different level. So I was just getting started, and they were already like veterans, and they were doing mostly designs while I was doing pink and white. So I myself never really had like an actual team. Even though I did it with a company all the time, I still was kind of individual. And yes, this is exactly what I was missing, because now I'm like training students for the competitions, and we usually do it within a team. And it's so great. I mean, it's support, it's, mutual motivation. And even if you travel together as a group, that's just fun.
Yeah. Well, and it's almost like you get built-in judges. You get honest feedback from people you look up to that are being honest with you, saying, you know what, if you just could teach this one thing, or if you placed your form just like this, or if you just, angled your brush just like this, you'd see a difference. And so you get to work together that way, I think always helps as well. Because if not, we have to wait for our judges sheet to come back for us to do those fine tuning. And so I like the idea of how they work in a team like that to help build each other up. And even though it's a competition, it's and you want to, it's not that you want to beat them. You just want to be your best, and you want to beat the last time you competed, or do the best that you can do. And so sometimes it is beating the other people in your team, but it's also still building them up when they win. You get to celebrate and be a part of that as well. I love every bit of the competition side of it. I just get too nervous. So I don't know, how do you overcome the anxiety of everything? It shows you have the loud music, you have people everywhere, and you know that everybody that's sitting around you has the same feelings, and what products do you want to use and how you want to do it. Like, do you practice day after day after day beforehand, or do you just say, you know what, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to trust in myself, and I'm going to go there and do this? Like, how do you mentally prepare?
Yeah, well, probably the desire to actually, do and show good results in the competition is a bit stronger than all this anxiety and nervous. But I don't know, just try to focus on your result, because I just knew that. I mean, I kind of seen how competition looks like before I went there, so I realized that it will not be comfortable. Like when you go to the school, you have uncomfortable chair, uncomfortable model. Environment, like everything is new, so I kind of was prepared for that. But I don't know, once they said go, you're like in a bubble, like you do not hear or think about everything, and then just 2 hours pass and okay, models, put your hands up. So I don't know, it flies really fast.
Yeah, it really does. Rebecca's on here and she goes, I have the same stage right now is because of my health since 2017. I have lost some clients, but I'm still worried. I still have people referred to clients because of my reputation and good work, but it's still pretty steady. Oh, good for that's wonderful. She used YouTube before she started doing the shows and attending classes. But absolutely, she says that doing them in person is a lot better. And so when you were going through doing the competitions and winning, you won the Nail Pro Cup in 2011, 2010?
I think it was 11.
Yeah. How was that feeling for you to know that you made it all the way through then and actually won the Nail Pro Cup?
Yeah, that was, I think, that was the first one when I won gold in somewhere international. But so it took me I think I was preparing for 5 months. And for the last month, I gave up clients, work, life, everything for it, because I thought, and I just sat down and realized all the money I'm gonna spend on it, traveling expensive, trainings and everything. I realized that's about my annual revenue. So I thought, okay, I just have to do it. Otherwise, that won't be. I mean, it's not like I was aiming to win or something, but I thought I need to show outstanding result, at least for myself. So yeah, that was hard. And I had a coach. She was kind of personally coaching me. And she's from St. Petersburg. I'm from Moscow. That's a different city. So I had to travel there to take these classes. But yeah, it felt like I was I need to choose another goal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations on all of that. And so so how many times did you compete to be able to get to that level? Because I know it's some of them are based on the point system and all of that, and then sometimes you can just go compete one time and you just win every category. And so was it a combination of competitions to win that, or how did that work out?
Oh, you mean that one in Las Vegas, the Nail Pro?
Yeah.
So yeah, I took, I think 4 competitions, and I only got first place in 2 of them. So I guess, that was enough for the score. And in another 2, so the system there is that if you do not place first, second, or third, you don't know what's your place. I mean, back then. Now they give you the results, so you know at least if you're fourth, fifth. So I knew that in one I got in the top 10 because my model told me like they get to see it. But I mean, I don't know the other results. So.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it's important when people choose the competition that they want to do and they have their goal inside of what they want to do. There's different rules and regulations for every type of competing. And so it's important for them to pay attention to those rules. Sometimes it's on a point system. Sometimes, man, you go in as, you know, and as a beginner and automatically you're beating out some of the advanced people in the competitions. And so at some point in time, though, you must have decided that, okay, I'm kind of done with competitions and decided to get into the judging side of it, which is super exciting. So how was that transition?
Yeah, well, actually, it wasn't like, it was like, I'm done with competition. I never wanted to be done. I just liked it so much. But I got invited to the School of Judges in Russia. It's called Nail Expert School. And once you, if they decide that you will be the judge, you have to sign the document that you will not be competing in your country anymore. Well, at least while you're a judge. Or if you want to compete, then you won't be a judge. So I thought, okay, maybe that I should try it. So that's what I did. And once it started, I started training people for the competitions, because once you start judging, you kind of realize the process from the other side. And you have an idea of what, how to prepare people better and what exactly judges want to see. And I realized many of my previous results, like why didn't they work out, some of them, because I looked at it with a different eye. And then I just got into teaching and training people so much, I just didn't really have time to compete by myself. So that's what happened.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's interesting too. Sometimes, when you go around the world and you've done all these competitions and you win time after time after time, how other people will view it going, I don't even want to enter because they're going to win. They feel like automatically they have this mindset where they're like, nope, Anastasia's competing, so I'm not going to compete. But then once you become the judge and they get that mindset out, then they're like, okay, maybe I have a shot now. I've interviewed a few people that have been top competitors like that. And it was interesting that they wouldn't friend them for some reason while they were competitors, but once they were a judge, they wanted to be their best friend because they wanted, the help, and they no longer felt the pressure of the competition side. And so did you ever feel, any of that where all of a sudden all these people that kind of were a little standoffish to you were all of a sudden like your best friend?
Yeah, I actually always wanted to be, like a mentor and a friend to my students at the same time. And actually I had this, I think it was my second competition or third, there wasn't any result, by the way. And my coach back then from this company, she was competing with me. So there were not too many competitors. So they kind of merged the novice and veterans together. So I was basically competing against her, against, my coach, and of course she won. She got the first place. I don't remember, something like on the bottom. But I remember that. So at that moment, I thought to myself, I will never do that. So I never ever competed in the same competition if some of my students are, because I just don't want them to feel uncomfortable. And yeah, that won't be fair, right? Because I have more experience, obviously.
Yeah, so, yeah. And it's sad because sometimes they have the experience and they have the technique. It's a mindset that they get that for some reason it's a self-sabotage where they're like, I just can't do it because they're there. And I've shared a story where I was competing one time and I looked around the room and I thought, I got this. I had so much confidence. And like a second before the timer went off that you had to sit down, this one competitor that was top at that time came in and sat down right next to me, and he had just won some awards and he placed those awards out towards me, which we've talked since then, and it's part of just an intimidation factor. Well, it worked. From then on, my mindset went straight down, and I shook the whole time. I couldn't concentrate on what I was doing, and then all of a sudden I couldn't I couldn't get into the bubble, like what you said. I understand what you mean by the bubble. Then the music was too much. Then, everything was just too much. But here I had that confidence until one person walked in, and it changed the whole mindset. Now I'm obviously a lot older in the industry, and I know that it's a mindset, and it's like, no, that's not going to be the way it is. But you've been on both sides of it. So you've been, from the student, the intermediate, competing with your mentors, and then all the way now to as a judge. And I don't know, it's part of the story I always like to hear. And so, oh, wonderful. Do you still compete then?
No. Well, after Las Vegas, I did compete, like, in like cover contests, like the Nails magazine, the things like that. But no, like I said, most competitions I ever dealt with in the future, I was whether judging them or training someone for them. So no, I really never really got to compete.
Yeah. And so speaking of cover magazines, you have graced the cover of top magazines, as well as gotten to be an author for some articles in them. Do you enjoy that side as well?
Oh yeah, I was actually quite surprised because I just saw it, I think it was Facebook or in some other social media, like try, to get on the cover of magazine. And yeah, I just said, okay, I mean, why not? But then when I got to the top 10 and there gets this voting to choose one, I was like, oh my God. And yeah, I remember that day I was like in Chile, actually giving some seminar, and yeah, I got this results like you won, and I was basically jumping on the bed. Because like,
I love it. And it's so well deserved. Your work is phenomenal. And, when it comes to, how many years, some people, they just have the work in like 2 or 3 years. They're there. They have the technique down and everything. And, for some of us, it takes a little bit longer. But like you said earlier, you have this drive. And, it just comes from within, and it's surrounding yourself with like-minded people that help build that drive. And so how does your family feel about you now after all these years in the career? You bypass the computer tech side of it and in the nail industry, do they support you with that? And how do you balance the time and everything? Because that's a lot of traveling and financials and all of that.
Yeah, so, my family, when I was doing nails as like a side gig during I'm doing my degree, nobody really minded. I mean, like, they were like, okay, do whatever you want on your weekends. But when I graduated and continued doing nails, yeah, my parents and especially my grandma, they were like, what? Like, seriously, you're gonna like file someone's dirty nails when you can actually become an IT specialist? They didn't understand that. And yeah, you need to get the real job, like an engineer, go to work for some software company. Well, I didn't listen to them, but yeah, now after 3 or 4 years, they finally took it seriously. Once I got invited to do some seminars in different countries, yeah, now they're proud and definitely supportive.
Yeah. And then how are you married? Do you have children and all of that? Are you still single and kind of not having to worry about balancing children and husband? And
yeah, I'm married, and actually, my husband, he was my boyfriend back then when we were just talking about this Nails magazine cover. Yeah, we were jumping on this bed together because he was there when I received this email. So yeah, he's been supportive all the time. I mean, he's not into the beauty business. He actually does IT stuff. So he does that in our family. But yeah, he's very supportive of all these things.
Yeah, and it's so important to have that. And, as your family grows or, you continue on in the career, if you don't have that support, I think it's important for you to reach out to groups that, whether it's online like Tech Talk Worldwide or, like you said, you would travel to your coach. It's important to have somebody like that can help you with your mindset, with technique and everything else to get to the next level. And so that's wonderful that you do have that support. I think it's what's important. Sarah says, what nail shows will you be at this next year?
I'm definitely going, I think, to Pasadena because I really like this nail only show. Maybe Sacramento in fall, and probably Orlando because this one is a really big one in June. Yeah, but there will be definitely, I'm doing another one in Sweden in March. But yeah, haven't built up the whole schedule yet.
Yeah, like I said, we all get to live vicariously through you and all the travels. Yeah. So out of all the competitions that you've done or all the places that you've been, which one always just stands out that you're like, I want to go there again? That's a must do in our career.
Mm, well, I mean, if the competition was successful, you obviously want to do something else. I mean, something more challenging. But yeah, the most outstanding was, I mean, the Nail Pro Cup we discussed, and I think maybe Amsterdam, because that was the first time I got to go somewhere abroad by myself. I was like 17, or maybe something like that. Yeah, that was my first international competition. I got third place, but I was so happy because that was like, just quite an experience because I didn't even know, how to travel. Like, this was my first experience of getting visa for the whole and everything. So yeah, I mean, all of them were kind of, different stories that come together with them.
Yeah. Oh, fun. Very fun. So Catherine says, Anastasia, education guru. You inspired me to become a professional nail tech. She goes, thank you, love.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I could only imagine that you've inspired many people to not only become a professional, but get into the competition circuit as well as even possibly a judge. And from this Tech Talk Live, I know you're going to inspire somebody to just use that inner drive to just do something, whether it's an online competition or in person. Do you have any, people always want to know what products you use when you compete. So would you mind sharing that?
Well, on the last competitions, I believe I use mostly NSI or entity acrylic system, depending on the competition itself. And for design competition, it's usually a mix because you have to do so many different 3D elements. You just get to choose different powders and everything. But now when students come to me, they want to prepare for the competition, I usually try to stick with the products that they're comfortable working with. So since I'm not associated with any brand now, I never force them okay, you need to use this. We just check if their products work for what we need. If they don't, we find something different.
Yes, absolutely. I'm in that same way. And so how can people contact you if they decide that they want additional training from you?
Oh, just I'm everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, email. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so in the comments, we'll leave all of your social media handles where people can get a hold of you as well. And so, oh, that's wonderful. And so do you do online training as well, or do you only do in person?
Yeah, so I have an online school. It's called Nails Pro Academy. And yeah, so I do online training there as well as a few other educators, which is Max Estrada.
Yeah.
Nail. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's exciting. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that you were only in the industry for 15 years and then you became an educator rather quickly. Obviously, competitions and authors and gracing the covers of magazines and then going on to the judging level. At some point in time, we think, oh, well, we reached the top, but there's so many tops and there's so many branches that you can continue to go on. So what's your next goal? So what else do you want to accomplish?
Actually, there is one. Yeah, so I recently working on this video for the YouTube where I explain different sources of income that I have, and actually all of them are within the nail industry. Like I have school, I do blogging, I not much, but work with clients a little bit. I do live trainings. So I did some editorials, for the magazines. But my goal, I don't know, kind of dream is I would like, to do something for a movie.
Yes.
Nails. So I thought, that would be nice. I have no idea how, but maybe I will get to do it.
Well, and you've done Fashion Week and you've done a lot of the fashion stuff. And so I wonder if through some of those connections, if you wouldn't be able to do it that way. So you're going to have to use that inner drive to just kind of reach out or voice to your following, this is a goal that I have. Because I've learned once you have it in your mind, you have to voice it. And once it's out there, people are listening and it naturally just comes your way. And so, oh, how exciting. So what part of the movie roles would you want to do?
Oh, I mean, the nails.
Yeah, yeah. So like on the show Claws, would you want to be like one of the guest nail artists to do their nails on that? Or are you thinking a little bit more in the fashion of like a Victoria's Secret models and doing all their nails behind stage, you know, in the high speed of the fashion world?
I was actually thinking of some, kind of like Hollywood movie. I don't know, like Game of Thrones. Well, this one is over, but I mean, some kind of an actual show where they need some crazy nails, that are associated with the characters, maybe like fantasy style or something. So,
Yeah.
not just nails, because I mean, I did, Fashion Week, but usually it's just nails. You don't really see them from the stage. So, maybe something really crazy for some,
Oh, I
fantasy
love
characters.
it. And it's so true. If we don't have something in our mind as the next steps, we kind of just feel like we stay stagnant or just where we are. And so continuing to grow, and now you grew very fast in your career. And so I love knowing that you still have some dreams, that you want to do and what's next for that. And you never know, maybe it might be from this Tech Talk Live that somebody connects and say, I got a spot for you. I know I was, I roomed with Selena Wright and this summer, and talk about, we all seem to have something on the side that we kind of work with. And so Selena, was a choreographer, a dancer, and I had no clue that she had a voice where she can sing. And so she's released her Star Cassette and doing all of that. And so it's amazing how sometimes like we get into the fashion of it, but once again, this is a stepping stone into something possibly even bigger. And so I'm excited to, we might have to do another Tech Talk in a year from now and find out what steps it took for you to, get to the next level of that. Oh, how exciting. So do you want to ever get to where you're coming out with your own product line or continue with that, or do you like staying independent?
Actually, I get this question a lot for many years. Well, no, I actually wasn't thinking about that. I mean, now there's so many products out there with a good quality that you get to choose from. So I don't have this in mind at the moment, but I never say never. So I don't know what's going to be even in a year. But yeah, not at the moment. Now I'm focusing on, growing school, like improving classes, things like that.
Yeah. Sarah wants to know, do you have any tips on becoming an educator?
Sure. So there are like two ways you can. The easiest one is just to join some company to find if somebody's hiring or looking for educator. That might be the easiest one. Or another one is just becoming an educator by yourself, because now it's really easy. You have like social media, you have Facebook, you have YouTube. Once you put out the content out there and start teaching people, just for free, just putting out educational videos where you like present yourself as an educator, people will start to get interested in that, and then you can start from that. And like maybe another tip, I mean, if the company is not hiring, but you're still interested in them, you can just start doing some works or tutorials with their products and tagging them. And after a while, you can come up with the offer that will be more powerful on that. I mean, if you just come about that.
And on a side note, you do need sometimes permission from the company to be able to instruct with their product and then be able to tag them back with it. I noticed that because of social media, a lot of companies are needing to kind of break down some of the tutorials that are out there going, that's not how we use our product. We do not recommend that. You are not an educator for our company. And so I think it's important to communicate with the company. And if they really like the instruction that you give, not only do they tend to send you free products, but they invite you to become an influencer, an ambassador, or even a paid educator or part of the travel team. And so I always think it's important to contact the company for sure and just say, I love using your products and this is something that I've been doing. Here's a sample video, and communicate with them, because you never know where that might take you. They might use you for their screen prints or for magazines and different side stuff. Like you said, it's almost like an additional side job that we would have. So you would still do nails in the studio or whatnot, but an educator as well. Yeah, so wonderful. Oh, I love it. Anastasia, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us and your time with us. So, a lot of people too, when they get into the competition side of it, and they feel comfortable with that. They want to judge, but they don't know how to get into the judging side of it. And there's a few different academies out there for that. How did you get into the judging side, and how do I want to say that? What recommendations or suggestions would you have for them to pursue to get into the judging arena?
So, but like in America, there's only one company I know. It's like INJA, INJA.
Yeah.
I believe it's my Lisa Comfort, right? So they have a website, and they have, I believe, the requirements, like how you can enroll to the training. So that's definitely the easiest way. But I mean, in order to judge, you definitely need to have some experience of, as a competitor, ideally as like on all sides, like a model, a competitor, so you know what a competition is about. Because if you haven't, then I mean, how can you judge something that you have no idea about? So yeah, you just need to read the rules, the regulations, and then just try to enroll.
Yeah, and so you're a part of a different one as well. And is that one just an international judging?
Yeah, well, it's like a Russian company, but yeah, it's similar to that one. And but I got there by accident. I mean, I didn't enroll or anything. I didn't even know it exists, but I got there from the very beginning because I was invited by a friend. He was an editor of Mailer magazine, I believe. It's a very popular Russian magazine. But I mean, when something happens by accident or just somebody invites you, you still, I mean, it happened because you knew somebody and or some work you did before, they knew you for it. So that's how it happened. And yeah, they brought me in the room. I swear, I didn't even know it was about the judging or like I have to become a judge. I was literally just, he said, hey, you're good in competitions. I have something for you. Like, come over like tomorrow. It was really like that. And I was just sitting there, and then I realized that all of these people in the room, they were really like famous gurus of the Russian nail industry. And I'm like, what am I doing here? But yeah, somehow I passed the test. And then I was, I had to judge for like 3 or 4 competitions, and my scores were never like taken as the scores because you just practice. And then, yeah, I got certified as an actual judge. But yeah, to get in this kind of situation, you just have to build the connections, work. And I had some awards already, an experience of training people for the competition. So I guess that's why they invited me.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Like I said, again, living vicariously through you, you've had so many opportunities that those of us, still, it's on our bucket list and we want to do this, and whether it's competitions all the way through. Oh, absolutely love it. Okay, guys, do you have any questions that you would like to have for Anastasia? As you all know, if you're watching this on replay, just tag our names in it, and it will send us a notification, or you're more than welcome to private message us as well. Obviously, Anastasia is a wealth of knowledge all the way from the beginning, all the way through the judging side of it. And so, to be able to tap into your mind, and obviously you have a huge heart to tie with it. And so it's just wonderful to have people like you as a mentor that we can look up to and gain, such vast knowledge of. Do you still seek out mentorship? Do you do nails on a salon still? What are you doing right now? Just teaching online?
Yeah, well, honestly, feel like I'm generating content 24/7. Yeah, so yeah, I do like online school. So we record online classes. I'm looking for educators for my school as well. And like I'm doing different kinds of content all the time. I do not work with clients as much because, as I travel a lot, I kind of don't feel good about it. When I tell my clients, you need to come back for an infill every 3 weeks, and then I'm gone for 2 months. So I kind of gave them all to the trusted students that are really good at it. But yeah, I'm still doing models sometimes because I cannot imagine that. I mean, not doing something with my own hands.
Well, and you can tell, like you said, you have the drive. So I don't see you just being kind of just sitting around. And you mentioned creating content, and we all know, I mean, I'm awful with it. And to create content and engaging content and try to tell a story and get people to, give feedback on your posts and all of that, that takes so much time. And so do you set aside time? Like I teach where I tell people in your calendar or in your appointment book, you need to mark it off just like you're at work. That's social media time. This is your time to, do everything that you need to, like you're at your job. It's not in addition to your job. This is still your job. And even though you don't have a direct client in front of you, that's still part of the marketing process. So how do you find the time to be able to create content like that and videos and edit and all of that?
Well, whatever I do or pick the brush into my hands, it's all coming through the lens of the camera. So anytime I take off my nails, redo my nails, do my mom's nails, I have like a manager working in my office, I do her nails all the time and record all that. But I have people who do editing and some descriptions for me now because obviously like I also have Russian social media, so it's like double work. So I could do it with other people. So I have people who do editing and helping me with most of the stuff. But I mean, I still do the recordings by myself. But now since I'm doing it, well, I started my YouTube in English, I think 3 years ago. So now it's just, you just know, it happens pretty quick, when you know how it works. You just record, then you send it to someone. They like work on it, they edit, you confirm, and then it's just, uploading for publishing. So once you set it up, it's kind of, doesn't take as much time.
Yeah. And once again, it goes to prove that we are okay if we don't master everything. We need to build that team of the people that is their specialty and utilize their specialty so we can concentrate more on the things that we enjoy doing. And like I said, I hate doing the content side of it, so I probably should hire it done, but
sure.
So, yeah, that's great advice, because so many times we think that you're sitting there doing it all, and then how do you do it? So when we find out, like, they get help too. They've contacted specialists in that field and to do, editing or whatever it is. But it's still you. It's still your work. And that's fabulous advice. Oh my goodness. Thank you again. I can't thank you enough. I'm a little starstruck with you, having you with me. I can tell you that. Is there anybody that you still get starstruck by when you see them?
Well, sure. I mean, when I get to the shows, like almost any international shows, and now, I mean, it feels different, right? When you see people in the social media, in their stories every day, you feel you kind of know this person. So that happens quite a lot.
Yeah. So if there's anybody's nails that you could do, anybody, whose nails would you want to do?
Like of the star?
Yeah.
Well, maybe Lady Gaga. Oh, actually Billie Eilish, because I seen a close-up of her stilettos recently, and I'm like, oh no, Billie, you need to come to me. I'm sorry if somebody knows her nail technician.
Like, I can help you out. It's interesting that you say Lady Gaga, because when I asked that question, that seems to be the number one. Lady Gaga and like Oprah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I love it. And so hopefully they're watching as well. So you can get Lady Gaga. She'll get you into the movie. She'll create a movie for you so that you can do that side of it.
That would be great.
We'll make all these connections. Oh, wonderful. Well, Anastasia, I can't thank you enough for your time. I don't see a whole lot of questions coming through today, but I have a feeling on replay you're going to get a lot of questions. And so I thank you not only for your time today, but your time, here in the future. And obviously, we will definitely put all of your social media handles into the comments so that other people can follow you and be a part of your world. And Sarah says that would be so cool. Anastasia does nails for a music video.
I actually haven't done for a music video as well. So that would be nice too. Maybe you should start from the music video and then into the movies.
Well, I think you're just going to have to reach out to Lady Gaga and go, well, so. However, gosh, Well, she probably would. I was going to say the length of their nails and the way she pounds on that piano, it might be one of those that she can't have them really long. But boy, for the fashion show stuff that she does and for photo shoots, possibly. So, oh, I love it. Yeah, so inspiring. Well, again, we'll put your social media links into the comments. Thank you for your time and sharing your story. You are such an inspiration. And just please know that, I mean, like Anastasia became an educator just after a few years of being in the industry, but it really does take you seeking out the proper education. And she went obviously from schooling to schooling and, you know, didn't just rely on what she found on social media, hands-on classes to, you know, get where you are today. And just absolutely just inspirational. And thank you for around the holiday season. Are you guys going to do anything fun or any more travels?
Well, maybe not much travel until the new year, but yeah, definitely more tutorials and content.
Yes. So we'll watch what you're doing on YouTube and everything like that. Julia says Anastasia is amazing with her education as well. So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, thank you, Emmy, so much for inviting me. Yeah, once I got this invitation, I was like, what? Nail tech worldwide? Like, I got invited? You know, I'm just a girl doing my nails with a camera. I mean, that's really enough for me. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's beyond that. Your name has come up multiple times if you got to get Anastasia on your show. And so absolutely, you know, you know, we book these out a few months in advance. So it is definitely one of those that takes time to work with everybody's schedule. And so being around the holidays and everything as well. So thank you for that. All right, everybody, if you have questions or anything for Anastasia, remember to tag our names, or you can private message her. In the comments, we'll get all of her, like I said, social media handles and all of that published as well. And then again, happy holidays to everybody and Anastasia. And good luck with everything in the future. And I cannot, if you end up getting a movie, a music video, or any of that, you have to contact me so that we can talk about what it took for you to get there and be able to ride your rainbow a little bit.
Sure, I will. Yeah, thank you so much, Amy. That was a pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.